H.R. 676 expanded Medicare for all, how long to implement, how to handle job losses.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Too bad, too bad.
Who wrote the question? You can explain it a little to us.
Yeah, well, it's put forth by, in the House of Representatives, and it's basically a bill. It's been put forth quite a few years in a row, and by Mr. Conyers, or Congressman Conyers, I believe it is, and it's basically a Medicare for all bill, you know, that says, you know, this will basically give us our Medicare system for everybody. And, you know, it's, unfortunately, it's like when people talk about it, it kind of upsets me a little bit, is it's like it's not even possible in this country. It's like, whoa, we can't do that. No, we got all these corporations. No, we can't do that. And it's amazing to me that that attitude is so pervasive when it seems like having a single payer, you know, whether it's Medicare for all or something similar, that it would solve so many of these little technical problems that everybody's talking about with the ACA and with the American Health Care Act. I know it would create some problems, but you know, there's going to be problems no matter what we do. But the bottom line is that everybody's covered. And that's the thing about when you talk about European systems, you've got, okay, they've got their problems. I mean, we have Canadian friends, we go there all the time, we talk to them. You know, they're saying, oh yeah, there's some problems. But the point is, if they need a doctor, they can go and get help, and it doesn't cost them anything. And everybody's covered. And that is not the case here in this country, even as we speak. There's still 30 million people uninsured. And it would, in the long run, be less costly. I mean, even though Medicare, we're spending all that on Medicare now, in the long run, if it turns out to be like other countries, we would be saving half of what we're spending in healthcare. And I know it's, you know, it's never considered as a possibility. And I hope someday we get there, but, you know, that's what the bill is. And there's one in the Senate as well, 1782, the Bernie Sanders bill.
Will you say both of those again, actually?
Post one in a
Write them down. House Bill 676?
676 is in the House, and that's by Conyers. Bernie Sanders has 1782 in the Senate, and actually Span, Ohio has put forth not Span, Ohio. There's been a Ohio bill for Medicare for all, just for Ohio, and it's Bill 91, and it's in the House.
Something we were talking about
Congressman.
during the break that actually, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, I think one of the things that sort of was a disappointment for a lot of us when Obamacare happened was, you know, why didn't the single payer option happen? And sort of that's where people start coming up with the various kind of neoliberal conspiracies that the insurance companies torpedoed this, and I think some truth to that. But I think that a nice stopgap, assuming that isn't possible, it's hard to imagine in the current legislative environment that would ever pass. But I think something that would be really an exciting option is to say, why don't we expand Medicare? Why don't we say, you know, make it instead of starting at 65, that you can buy into it at 60 if you want, or at 55, or at 50. And I mean, I think that this would be a nice start moving into that direction. And I think that most of the people here, I feel like we've all been saying that the idea of some sort of rational single-payer system is where we would all kind of like to see things going eventually. It's just how we get there. I mean, I think realistically that's what but I think it sounds like a great thing if everybody at least would have the option, you know, if you want to be with Humana, you can be with Humana, but if you'd like to be on Medicare, even if you're a 35-year-old, I think that it sounds great, but I think getting there is going to be a political challenge.
What are your thoughts about